What up, Yugi Bros? Another duel video for you guys today. This time we've got what people have been calling giant rat control with twisted personality versus heavy metal raider deck. So what's interesting about this deck is that you utilize the ability of giant rat and Zombina to basically bring out swordswoman. So giant rat says if it's destroyed by battle and sent to the grave, you could special summon an earth monster 1500 attack or less from your deck in attack position. Well, this just so happens to be an earth monster with 1500 attack or less, and Zombina has the effect where if it's in your owner's possession, destroyed by battle or card effect through an opponent's card, you can target a level 4 or lower monster in your grave except Zombina and special summon it. So you can technically loop these indefinitely until you run out, which is kind of cool. But also, just so happens to be a earth 1500 attack or less monster is Amazona Swordswoman, the monster that redirects all battle damage back to your opponent. So in addition, we play some other cute techs, but basically, as you can see here, the whole point is it's like a burn deck, obviously, that has the ability to stall, which is really cool. We're going to go first. We set the giant rat and we pass. For those that don't know, Heavy Metal Raider says at the start of the duel, you place it in your field zone and flip it over, and then you start with one less card. I hate field spell skills. I really am glad they haven't given us any more of these, because the huge downside is that they're on the field, so once you destroy them with anything, Cosmic Cyclone is a big new option to get rid of it, as well as Breaker the Magical Warrior, then the skill technically is just gone, and you lose the whole finesse of the deck. You start with one less card because this takes up basically a card in your starting hand, but I think that's even worse because it already has the vulnerability of being destroyed. So it's kind of BS. I wish this was outside the game. Sure, if it was outside the game, it would be very, very powerful, but there are skills that we have that stay outside the game, Twisted Personality included, that are really, really powerful. So I feel like this isn't any exception. This should have just been an outside the game skill. But we are where we're at. So, this card says, the first time each Dark Machine monster you control will be destroyed by battle each turn, it's not destroyed. And if you took battle damage from the battle, it gains that much attack after damage calculation and keeps the attack as long as this card remains face up on the field. So what's interesting about that first effect is, let's say you have a Dekoichi, for example, right? And let's say we had a Jinzo, alright, 2400 attack. Let's say our Jinzo swung into this Dekoichi. Not only does this not die once per turn by battle, it gains a difference in attack. So 24 versus 14, it would gain 1000 attack, and then it would be at 2400 as long as this is on the field. So it's really cool to make weaker machines actually more powerful, especially because we're going to utilize the flip effect to draw a card with the Koichi, and then this card can pump it up to make it actually a formidable monster. Now, the other effect is once per turn, if a monster you control that was originally a Dark Machine destroys a card or cards on the field by battle or card effect, you can special summon a Dark Machine monster from your hand. So, let's say our 2400 Dekoichi now swings over, or let's just say swings into that Jinzo. It doesn't die by battle once per turn due to this card's first effect, and because it then was originally Dark Machine, destroyed an opponent's card, you could then special summon a Dark Machine from your hand. Let's say you had a Jinzo, and you dropped the Jinzo for free. The skill's really, really powerful. So, they're going to open with the Allure of Darkness. They're going to draw in a Sphere and Magician of Faith. They are playing Magician of Faith because this is treated as a field spell, so in the graveyard it is a spell card that you can add back to your hand with Magician of Faith. It was already ruled that skills can't go back to the deck, since they would technically go, like, they don't have the correct backs, they're different, so you can't draw a Avarice or something like this. But you can Magician of Faith it back. So, we are playing that as a one-of, in case this gets destroyed. However, with Cosmic Cyclone now in the game, it's a little less likely that this will get destroyed and sent to the grave. But Magician of Faith in general can add any one of these spells back, so it's not the worst. Also, if you set a monster while this is on the field, they tend to think it's a machine that's not going to die by battle once per turn, so they either won't swing into it or they'll wait until they have a better way to better utilize destruction against it. So, they banish the Sphere, they set the Dekoichi, the Cosmic, and the Book, and they pass. We draw into a Swordswoman, we'll want to summon it, I'll switch our Giant Rat to attack mode, and we'll go on the offensive. Now it's Dekoichi, they draw a card, and it does not die by battle once per turn. We're going to then have Giant Rat try to swing in, but they're going to book Giant Rat. They're going to draw into a Jinzo. They're going to tribute the Dekoichi straight up for the Jinzo, set the Book of Moon, and have the Jinzo swing over the Swordswoman. They're going to take the damage. We'll allow that. We don't need to sphere that. And then we get one counter to our Twisted Personality. For those that don't know, Twisted Personality says each time a player loses life points, you place a counter on this card max 3, and then once per turn during your main phase, you can use one of the following skills. You either remove 2 counters from this card to discard a random card from your opponent's hand, or you remove 3 counters from this card to then destroy one face-up card your opponent controls. It gives Burn an actual offensive play, which is kind of ridiculous. We draw into Foolish Burial. We are playing Foolish Burial since we can dump options for the Zombina that we search through the Giant Rat. So we're going to dump Newdoria, which is actually a really good option. Every time it destroys, if it's destroyed by battle and sends to the grave, you can target a monster and destroy that target. So we can basically clear through some defenses. We're going to then summon Zombina, have it swing into Jinzo, but they're going to Book of Moon since they see where this is going. We're going to then have the Giant Rat swing into Jinzo. We're going to take damage, giving our counter to Twisted Personality. We're going to then summon Swordswoman. And then we're going to have Swordswoman swing into Jinzo. They're going to take the 900. Our monster will die, but we get a 3rd counter on our Twisted. So they'll draw into Sphere Karibo. They'll set Magician of Faith. They'll have Jinzo swing into our monster. Our monster dies. We get to summon back any level 4 Lore monster from our grave, so we'll summon Swordswoman. Now we draw into Exiled Force. It's another good option, and it's conveniently also an Earth monster, which is ridiculous. But we also play Reinforcements of the Army since we're playing this, and this happens to be a warrior monster as well. We have the skill, however, get rid of the Jinzo. We then normal summon the Exiled Force, thinking it's probably a Dekoichi. We'll tribute it to destroy their face-down defense, and then we'll have Swordswoman swing in for 15. Getting a counter to our Twisted Personality. They draw into a lure, they'll activate it, drawing both Blowback Dragon and Twin Barrel Dragon. Both of these cards are really good while this skill is live, because these have the abilities to flip coin to destroy cards on the field. They don't summon Twin Barrel, they use its effect. If it's summoned, you target a card your opponent controls, toss a coin twice, and if both results are heads, you destroy it. The first one is a heads, and the second one is also a head, so they get to destroy our Swordswoman, and then their skill effect goes off, allowing them to special summon Blowback Dragon from their hand for free. And just like that, we are all but defenseless. We have a Sphere Karibo to stop this Blowback Dragon, but they're in the clear as of right now. We draw into a Foolish Burial. That unfortunately isn't going to net us too much. We send Gravekeeper's Curse to the grave. This isn't an Earth monster, but it does say when it's summoned it inflicts 500, which can be really good if we need to loot Zombinas. We're going to summon Swordswoman. We're going to have it swing over Blowback. But to our dismay, it doesn't die once per battle because of Heavy Metal Raiders. So unfortunately, at this point, it's basically over. They're going to use Blowback's effect, however. If you flip 2 out of the 3 coin tosses as heads, you get to destroy whatever target you destroy once per turn. And go figure, they actually get the effect off. This actually then triggers the skill to summon Jinzo for free from their hand, and that is game. So very good game 1 on their part. A little bit of luck because you have to flip the coins, but it does work out in their favor. Now it looks like they sided in Widespread Ruin. That's an interesting take, but as you've seen, our burn deck actually does attack a lot, so that might actually come in clutch. They draw into a Dekoichi, then a normal Twin Barrel. You're going to use its effect, hoping for 2 heads to then be able to special summon Blowback. The first one is a heads. The second one, however, is a tails, thank God. We're going to set Widespread, and I'm going to swing over our Swordswoman. We use our Sphere Karibo to stop that. And we draw into Giant Rat. Keep in mind here, that thing won't die once per battle because of Heavy Metal Raiders, so then we have to swing with the second monster here, and they flip the Widespread Ruin, getting rid of our Swordswoman. So we almost wasted Sphere for nothing, essentially. They draw into Magician of Faith, they'll switch Twin Barrel to attack mode, they'll put Dekoichi in defense, and they'll swing over our Giant Rat. We're going to then use our Sphere Karibo here as well, because now we can set up the Lava Golem. We draw into Zombina. We're going to drop Lava Golem to their field. We're going to switch Giant Rat to defense and pass. We could have set the Zombina, but we figure we'll wait until Giant Rat hits the graveyard. Now they draw into a Book of Moon. They take 1,000, giving us a counter on our skill. They're going to tribute it, however, for Blowback Dragon. Then they're going to use Blowback's effect, flipping 2 of 3 coins as heads. First one is tails. The second 2 are going to be a heads. Unfortunately, they are, so they destroy our Giant Rat. Giant Rat only gets its effect if it's destroyed by battle. So, they're home free. I'm going to swing in for 23. We get a counter to our skill. We can't do a whole lot, so we're going to set Giant Rat and pass. We could normal summon Curse, give this a 3rd counter, and pop this. However, we're a little bit worried just at 1,700 life points. Keeping this in attack mode seems like a really sketchy idea. So, the other upside, too, is that Zombina works if it's destroyed by battle or card effect. So if they top deck the Twin Barrel, for example, next turn, and let's say destroyed this and swung directly for exact game, that wouldn't give us much. But if this is destroyed even by a card effect, we'll get a monster from our graveyard. They draw into Allure of Darkness. They'll set Magician of Faith and YOLO the Allure, banishing a Blast Sphere, and drawing into a Book of Moon. They're going to use Blowback's effects. I'll tell you, this is like the scariest thing ever. Especially when we get to coin flip number 3. However, we're lucky in that it doesn't work, so they're going to attack our monster. Our Zombina is effectively summon back Swordswoman, and they will pass. We draw into Exiled Force. Now, we could normally Exiled Force destroying the Blowback Dragon, but we have Curse, doing an extra 500 damage, giving us a 3rd counter, and then using us skill to get rid of Blowback Dragon. Now we'll go into battle phase and we'll swing into their monster. It's not Dekoichi's Magician of Faith. They add back Allure of Darkness, and then we'll have Curse try to swing in here for 800. And it does. They draw into a Widespread. They'll set that and pass. They've kind of got everything in terms of defenses. They don't need to worry between 2 Book of Moons and a Widespread. We're going to normal summon Exiled Force and go on the major offensive here. Any 2 attacks should be enough for game. We get 1 in there with a Curse attack. They're going to Book of Moon the Exiled Force. Then we're going to have Swordswoman swing in, and they're going to Widespread ruin that. They draw into Dekoichi. They will normal summon it, activate the Allure of Darkness, hitting Twin Barrel and Blowback, banishing the Twin Barrel, trying to capitalize off the Dekoichi here. They're going to have it swing. We're going to swing Karibo. We draw into Santa Claus. The reason we are playing Santa Claus, in addition with the Lava Golem, is that putting this on their field as a 1 tribute doesn't waste our normal summon. Lava Golem says if we summon it, we can't do our normal summon. Oh my god. We can't normal summon or set the turn we do this. With Santa Claus, since we are looping Swordswoman, we could just put this on the field in defense and keep swinging Swordswoman into it. And if they want this off their field, it's 1,200 attack, so it would have to sacrifice Crash into one of our monsters, leaving them with an open field. So, we do play the Golem as well, but we figure Santa Claus isn't a bad tech. We're going to then flip the Exiled Force. They're going to Book of Moon it immediately on the summon, so we don't get its effect. We're going to switch Curse to defense mode. Then we're going to use our skill, discard the card from their hand. They draw into Jinzo. They switch Dekoichi to attack mode. They have it swing over the Curse. And then their skill drops the Jinzo for free. Jinzo will swing into our Exiled Force. And once again, we have nothing left. We draw into Amazoness Swordswoman. I honestly thought the game was over here, guys, but as you can see, they have exactly 900 life points, and Swordswoman will swing into Jinzo for 900 for game. So we passed that on the skin of our teeth. Honestly, probably the only top deck we could have had there. So it's crazy to say that it worked, but that's how burn works. You always got to make sure your life isn't too low. They're going to start off with a Blast Sphere and a Book of Moon. And we're going to draw into a Giant Rat. We're going to normal summon Swordswoman. We're going to have a swing. And it's Blast Sphere. Unfortunately, we don't have an out to getting rid of that, so we're just going to have to take this in strides. We're going to set Book of Moon and pass. We're going to draw into Curse, and then on standby phase, we take 1,500, getting a counter for our skill. Then we're going to summon Curse, do another 500 to them, getting another card. Counter on our skill, then we're going to use the skill to discard a card from their hand. And then Foolish Burial and Nidorya, because we'd rather not draw that. We're going to go into battle phase and swing for 800. So if you can keep the tempo going with this deck, you have a lot working going for you. Unfortunately, in this specific matchup, a lot of our things don't protect from battle or card effects, and stuff like this renders that useless if the effect goes off. They're going to summon Twin Barrel here, targeting our curse, and they don't get the effect, but it doesn't really matter. They'll swing, and we'll take the damage. We actually could have speared here, because curse can get over this if it's in defense mode, but we'd have to also then summon this, have both of these attacks go through, and as we've seen from this matchup so far, they have Book of Moons and Widespreads to make that not happen. So we'll gladly take the damage, also putting Curse in the graveyard so that this can summon a Zombina in the future for potential plays in the future, and also give us a counter to our Twisted Personality. We draw into Rhoda. We will activate that and add a Swordswoman from the deck to hand. We will then set the Giant Rat and pass. They draw into a Widespread, they will set that, have Twin Barrel swing into our monster. We'll let it die, summoning a Zombina from the deck. And they have to pass. We draw into another Reinforcements of the Army, but searching Exiled Force. Now we can get rid of their monster. However, on the summon they will Book of Moon our monster, so we can't get rid of the Twin Barrel this turn. So we'll switch Zombina to defense and pass. They draw into a Dekoichi, they'll set that, they'll have Twin Barrel swing into the Exiled Force, that's where we'll Sphere Karibo. Draw into a Swordswoman, we flip the Exiled Force, and on the summon, they Book of Moon once again. They really don't want the Twin Barrel to die, so we summon Swordswoman, switch Zombina into attack mode, try to swing over this Twin Barrel, doesn't die once, and then they Widespread the Swordswoman. Really protecting that card. They draw into another Twin Barrel, they'll use its effect, target our face-down defense, flip 2 coins, get a heads on the first one, and not get a heads on the second one. So, now, they'll flip Dekoichi, drawing into Jinzo. They'll have Dekoichi swing into Zombina. Interesting that they would do that with the idea that they could keep the field presence instead. However, they will elect for it to die, letting us bring back Doria from our graveyard. As you can see here, they have Twin Barrel swing into the Exiled Force. We can't wall both of them, and now that they have a free zone, they drop the Jinzo for free. They have the Jinzo swing into the Doria to try to have the Twin Barrel be the one out to destroying us, so we will destroy the Twin Barrel as opposed to the Jinzo. We draw into Zombina. We will set our Zombina and pass. They draw into Book of Moon, they'll set that. They'll have Jinzo swing into our Zombina, we'll have its effect bring back Midoriya in attack mode, almost baiting them to swing into it, but they're not going to do that. If they did have this kill this, and this destroys this or this, you only have to worry about one monster on the field, so I get why they stopped. Like, if they had this kill this, we'd take 5, but we'd get a third counter to this. This would destroy one of their monsters. On our turn, Twisted Personality would destroy the other monster. We draw into Lava Golem. This is really going to complicate things for them. Tributing both their monsters, switching Midori to defense mode, and passing. On their standby, they would take 1,000, putting our counter up to 3. However, on their draw phase, they will Book of Moon their monster.
So they don't take damage.
They're going to then normal summon Dekoichi, flip the Lava Golem back face up, and swing. Now they're going to have Dekoichi swing into Midoriya, having us to either forcibly destroy the Lava Golem, or find another way to stop it. We're going to destroy Dekoichi, because we have the Sphere Karibo. We're going to put their Lava Golem in defense mode. This allows us to have Swordswoman bounce off the Lava Golem, which is a really cool play. We draw into Sphere, which is definitely helpful. We're going to go into battle phase and have Swordswoman swing. They're going to take 1,000 to the face. They get a third. We get a third counter on Twisted. They draw their standby phase. They take another 1,000 to the Lava Golem. And now they have to find another way to out this, because if this swings over this, they'll take the damage. They're going to YOLO the Allure. They're going to hit both a Dekoichi and a Blowback Dragon. They're going to then sacrifice the Lava Golem for the Blowback that they kept. They banished the Dekoichi. They use Blowback's effect. And the scariest part begins, whether or not they get this coin flip or not. First one is a Tails. The second one is a Tails. So they don't destroy our monster. And they are forced to pass because this swinging over this is 800 for game. Keep in mind, if they did destroy this, they swing, we Sphere Karibo. As long as we draw any type of monster that does 700 or more damage, we win the game because Twisted Personality can pop this. We draw into Giant Rat, so it all didn't matter. We used the skill, we destroy Blowback Dragon, we normal summon Giant Rat. Even if we didn't have the Swordswoman, this would still be enough for game. And just like that, we somehow survived this match. So, for the Heavy Metal Raider deck, we played the 1 Blowback Dragon in the main deck, 2 Jinzo, since Jinzo is really, really good right now, triple Twin Barrel Dragon. This plays an extra role in this deck because of its destroying effect. Triple Dekoichi for draw power. 1 Blast Sphere in the main deck. A lot of people don't see it coming. It still plays a major role when necessary. 1 Magician of Fate to get back the skill if it dies. 2 Sphere Karibo to protect. This comes in real clutch when they have 2 monsters to swing into your 1 machine. It doesn't die first because of the skill, then they think they're home free and you Sphere Karibo them. 2 Lure of Darkness, since everything is dark in the main deck, minus Magician of Faith. Triple Book of Moon, because this card is still the best disruption card in the game. Double Cosmic Cyclone, and the 1 Offerings to the Doomed. In the side deck, we have the 2nd Blowback Dragon, which you can easily sub Jinzo out for. The destroying effect through Blowback is just extra powerful because of the skill, allowing you to then summon stuff for free. The 3rd Cosmic, the 2 Lost Wind, and 2 Widespread Ruin. Since we're manning Jinzo, we're siding the traps, but like I said, you could drop the Jinzos, bring in the Blowback and the traps, and kind of go through a myriad of different options with this deck. But for the burn deck, we played triple Amazoness Swordswoman, triple Giant Rat, triple Zombina. That's kind of the lineup. Then you play anything that you can basically drop off of the Zombina if it comes back. We have 1 Exile Force, we have 1 Gravekeeper's Curse, and we have 1 new Doria for monster removal. To pair with that, we have the Rhodas for both this, and we have the Foolish Burials to send these options with, and even this if you don't see it early game, but you probably will because of Rhoda. Then we have 3 Sphere Karibo just to add to the defensiveness to this deck. There are no traps in this deck, so we don't have to worry about Jinzo, but we can side in traps in the form of Zoma the Spirit at 3. If you're not seeing the Jinzo at all, this is extra offense with the 1800, but also it's huge upside in its effect when it's destroyed by battle. We played 2 Lava Golem in the side deck and the 1 Santa Claus for extra bounce backs off the Swordswoman. I already explained Santa Claus earlier, so I don't feel like I need to do that again. But that is the attempt we have so far at this Giant Rat burn. Guys, let me know in the comments down below what you think. This is an early iteration. I've seen a lot of tournament reports lately. I've kind of gone in on Dueling Book just to watch games and just learn. I haven't been fully invested since the Speedbox came out, both between the Christmas season and then now with COVID. It's been rough for me to pay attention with all that stuff going on, but I do look to get a little bit more involved here in 2021 and hopefully start playing in some online events. I know a lot of people have been asking me to do so, and I'm really sorry that I haven't gotten to that yet, but definitely would like to do it in the future, and maybe hopefully once the vaccine starts dropping and we get some actual events back and going, that we'll start playing real life once again, and that's the part I ultimately can't wait for. So guys, let me know in the comments down below what you thought. Comment, like, and subscribe. As always, click that notification bell to get all of our latest updates, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Yugi Bros out.